Tropical Storm Lala is moving toward Hawaii, and it could bring seriously dangerous conditions. The governor of Hawaii has declared a state of emergency ahead of Lala, as it could bring hurricane conditions to the islands over the next few days. So for more on this, we are now joined by Michael Brennan, the director of NOAA's National Hurricane Center. Michael, thank you so much for joining us, and we're so glad that you come with a map so you can help us understand what's going on. What is the latest advisory, and what should folks who are there know about Lala at this point?
Yeah, well, Lala is currently located a little more than 400 miles to the east-southeast of the Big Island of Hawaii, moving off pretty steadily toward the west-northwest at 10 miles per hour. The storm right now has maximum sustained winds around 60 miles per hour. It's been gradually strengthening over the last day or so, and we expect that to continue. We do expect the storm to go on and become a hurricane as we go through the day on Saturday and move near or over portions of the Big Island of Hawaii during the daytime hours on Saturday out in the Hawaiian Islands. So we have a hurricane warning in effect for that area. So Friday is really going to be the day for everybody to make their final preparations for strong winds, the possibility of life-threatening flooding from heavy rainfall. And actually, the heavy rainfall is likely to probably be the most widespread threat from this storm, like it is with most tropical storms and hurricanes. Portions of the Big Island could really see as much as 25 inches of rain, especially on those windward sides of the island. And that could also see some very heavy rainfall across the windward sides of Maui as well. And that rainfall is going to pick up as we go through the day today, Friday, and into tonight, Saturday.
And we saw the hurricane hunters were investigating Lala on Thursday. What did they find? And at this point, are there any plans to investigate the storm further?
Yeah, we've had actually multiple aircraft out there over the last 24 hours. We're going to have some additional aircraft flying later today. They gather really valuable data, especially when a storm's strengthening, to understand exactly, how much the winds have come up, the pressure's gone down. And the other thing with Lala is it's kind of a big storm. This is the size of the tropical storm force winds. They extend out more than 200 miles north of the center. So even though the center track is going to, after it goes past the Big Island, is going to stay south of the rest of the main Hawaiian island chain, there's going to be significant impacts from winds. We're likely to see tropical storm watches and warnings expand westward. And then that heavy rainfall threat's also going to affect islands like Kauai, Oahu. We could see isolated rainfall amounts as high as 8 inches or more in those areas.
Boy, and we also see that the wave heights are going to be really high as well. Is it rare for Hawaii to get a storm like this?
Well, it's not unusual for tropical storms and hurricanes that typically form farther east over the Pacific to move toward the Hawaiian Islands from the east, but they're typically weakening as they do. So this is somewhat unusual that the storm formed a little farther south over warmer waters and is actually going to be strengthening on its approach to Hawaii. That's typically how you get the stronger hurricanes in this part of the Pacific, as they tend to come from the south and then move northward toward the island chain. But you're right to mention the waves. The wave impacts are going to be pretty significant across much of the Hawaiian Islands. We could see inundation of 1 to 3 feet above ground level right along immediate coastal locations, dangerous surf conditions. High surf warnings have been issued for some of the southern facing shores of the main Hawaiian Islands as we go through the next few days. So you're not going to want to be out on those exposed beach or cliffs or rocky locations during that high surf event.
And just really quickly, Michael, we always talk about the Atlantic hurricanes. We haven't seen a ton of activity. Is that because of the El Nino weather pattern? Excuse me.
Yeah, that's pretty typical of what we would expect in a season where we have a strengthening El Nino. We're expecting below normal activity in the Atlantic. We've had a few short-lived tropical storms, which is kind of typical. They've been a little farther north out of the deep tropics in the Gulf and then up in the subtropical Atlantic. But the main point for folks on the Atlantic side, the Gulf Coast, Atlantic Coast, and the Caribbean is you have to be ready. We do get major hurricanes. We can get impactful hurricanes, even in overall quiet years. And one of the things that happens in an El Nino year is those storms tend to form a little farther north, a little closer to home. So we don't have those typical long track hurricanes that come out of the deep tropics right off the coast of Africa. They tend to form more, north of the Caribbean or in the Gulf or off the East Coast, and they can reach land and cause impacts very quickly. So people have to keep their guard up. We got a lot of hurricane season left. The peak months, August, September, October, still to come.
That's right. Michael Brennan with the National Hurricane Center. Thank you so much.